Just be more confident. We've all heard it from countless self-help books, motivational talks, friends and families, bosses and colleagues. But the question is how, when you don't feel like it or believe in it? The truth is, confidence is not a mindset shift that we can cultivate overnight, but rather it is a skill that we need to practice over time. Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Reina. I am an international etiquette consultant and former television host. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 things that you can start working on right now to cultivate this confidence skill. And by doing these 3 things, not only are you guaranteed to be more confident over time, but also you'll be much happier about yourself and your life. So a lot of people would argue that mindset precedes behavior. But actually, your behavior can just as much influence your mindset. Have you heard about the concept of fake it till you make it? I wouldn't say it's about faking something per se, but it's more about stepping out of your comfort zone and adopting a new mode of behavior. And this behavior is what most confident people do naturally. And so by doing that, over time, you will feel more confident as a result. I love what is said in the Atomic Habits book, where embodying a new identity is not about telling yourself, I want to be more confident or I want to be more healthy, but rather it is thinking you are already that person and questioning yourself, what would this person do? What kind of choices would this person make? And if I were that person now, let's say I am a confident person now, how would I act? So the question is now, how do you jump out of your comfort zone and your usual way of behavior and start behaving differently? What you need to do is accept that whilst you adopt these new behaviors, you might still feel not confident enough. But that's okay, because as you practice these behaviors more often, with time, you will become more confident. So I can often seem quite confident on the outside for a lot of people, but if you were to ask me, do I feel confident all the time? I would tell you absolutely not, because I have my ups and downs, just like everyone else. But what makes me seem confident for the others is that I act like what a confident person would act. I always like to think about a happy life contains of 3 key elements, to which I call the triangle of needs: the mind, body, and soul. And once you start paying attention to each of these elements, you start nourishing yourself in all these elements, you're guaranteed to feel happier because you are made up of the mind, body, and soul. So how do you expect that you can feel grounded and balanced if any one of these aspects is out of balance? So let's dive in. The first thing is start getting to know yourself. If I were to ask you now, how much do you know yourself? Can you describe yourself to me in 3 words? Would you be able to do that? A lot of us go through our whole lives without really understanding who is it that we are? What kind of things make us happy? What are the things in life that makes us feel passionate? What are our values? What are our strengths and weaknesses? What are the things that we want to work on? What is the ideal version of who we are? So these are the key questions that you have to think about. How can you expect to be confident if you don't know who you are and what you stand for and what you're set out to do in this world and in this lifetime? I love what Matthew McConaughey said in the Oscars, where he said when he was asked who his hero is, he said that it is him in 10 years. And he said that in 10 years' time, his hero will again be him in 10 years. And that really inspired me to think about my ideal self, because I used to think that you need to have a role model in life to which you aspire to be. And of course you can do that, but to take a step further, you can start thinking about how would your ideal self look like if it is still you, the unique you, the only you in this world. It inspired me to think about who I wanted to be. It is not anyone else in this world, but simply a better version of myself. Life is an ever-learning journey. It made me think that if I were to imagine myself in 10 years, 5 years, 3 years' time, what kind of life would I want to be having? What kind of mindset would I want to have? What kind of traits would I embody? And by thinking about this, it also allowed me to reflect on where I am currently and how big is the gap between where I am now and where I want to be. And what can I do every single day to narrow that gap? Sometimes it is helpful to think about yourself as a mini project that you're working on. What are the new traits that you want to adopt, the new mindsets, and all the new habits and hobbies you want to have? Start getting to know yourself better. This is an exercise you can do straight away. If you can, pull out a piece of paper or your journal and start brainstorming about these 3 things. Number 1, your values. Think about 3 most important values in your life. They can be discipline, compassion, loyalty, anything that comes to mind. Number 2, I would like you to think about 3 strengths and 2 potential that you have. They can be anything. It can be as simple as being a good listener or being patient when things get stressful. It might be difficult for you to start doing this work because a lot of the times when we don't feel confident enough or even insecure about ourselves, we can't think about the strengths that stand out to the people around us. But you need to have the belief that you are unique and you are special in your own way and you do have your strengths for sure. So just sit down and really think about what is it that you like about yourself. There's always something. And I suppose if you're still watching this video, you aspire to be better. And that in itself is a great trait to have. The third thing I'd like you to write down is what are the 3 things that you're grateful for? So for me, I am grateful that I am alive. I can see, I can hear. I have a roof to live under. I have a great family that loves me and that I love. So these can be very simple, fundamental things that you're grateful for in everyday life. And they are so powerful because gratitude is like a muscle that you strengthen over time. And by having gratitude in your heart, everything feels so much more grounded and you can put things into perspective because you get reminded of the fact that nothing is scarier than death. And the fact that you're alive means you have countless opportunities to achieve and to dream about the life you want to have. Moving on to the second thing you need to do. Start treating yourself better. And here I'm talking about your body. Are you feeding your body the right fuel it needs? Are you exercising? Do you have a relatively healthy diet? Do you sleep well? Studies show that about 90% of the production of your serotonin, the happy hormones, is found in your intestines. So your gut health is responsible for 90% of your happiness. Are you taking care of that? So how can you improve your gut health? This might sound like common sense, but literally just integrating more fiber in your diet and adding simple, healthy foods to your daily diet can do wonders. So what I usually do is most mornings I have a low-fat Greek yogurt bowl packed with blueberries and sometimes blackberries. And on top, I sprinkle gluten-free granola. And that's a very healthy meal for your gut. Also, pay attention to UPFs. I recently read a very interesting book on UPFs. You'll be shocked to find out how much UPF doesn't just affect our body, but also the way we think and in every front of our health. Apart from your diet, it is the exercise that you do. Have you heard about the dopamine kick that people get after exercising? By exercising, you don't just feel happier, but you feel more confident. It is a foolproof activity that you can do right now that guarantees you to feel happier and more confident. Whenever I feel unmotivated to exercise, I always give myself this simple reminder, which is I have never regretted once going for a workout. And by saying that to my brain, I am now much more motivated to do so because I know it is good for me and I'm guaranteed to feel better. If you don't ever move your bum from the sofa, how do you expect to have better posture, body language, and energy? And needless to say, when you get yourself out to exercise, whether it be going for a run, going for a quick walk, you see much more of this beautiful world. And life is beautiful. You just have to give it the opportunity to show you. You also don't need to go to the gym. If you don't like the gym, you can start pulling out a mat at your home and just do some Pilates. I took up Pilates a year ago, and ever since then I've just been in love because of the mind-body connection that I've been cultivating, and I feel happier and more confident as a result. I usually just pull out a mat and follow Move with Nicole on YouTube, and this is just a very quick, simple way to get yourself moving. My mom always told me this, it is so brutal but so blatantly true, which is you can't lay in bed and wish for your reality to be different. You can't lay in bed and dream of becoming a millionaire. You can't lay in bed and dream of having your dream body. You can't lay in bed and dream of becoming the most confident person in the room. If you want something to change, you need to put work into it, and everything takes effort. The third thing you need to work on is your mind. Start nourishing your mind. Think about what you're feeding your mind every single day. What kind of things might you be mindlessly scrolling on? What kind of news might you be reading that's triggering a lot of this fear and anxiety in you? Are you nourishing and feeding your mind the right nutrients it needs to feel passionate about your life, to feel more confident about who you are? If you feel like a dead fish inside with no dreams or passion, how can you expect yourself to feel more confident? So this part is about cultivating your passion and fire for life. Perhaps new hobbies, reading a new book, picking up a new language course, listening to a podcast, working on a new project. If you have too much time on your hands that's not keeping your conscious mind busy, what happens is you can easily go into a loop and vicious cycle of overthinking. Studies show that a significant portion of our thoughts, about 80 to 90%, is predominantly negative. There is a cognitive bias called the negativity bias, to which it says that humans have a tendency to remember and focus more on negative information, experiences, and events than positive ones. I'm an overthinker myself, and I deeply advocate for that. You don't need to dedicate time to think, because the thinking is always happening in the background. If anything, you should keep your conscious mind busy so the more important things can be thought by themselves. I love what Rick Rubin wrote in his book, The Creative Act, on intentionally and strategically putting in distractions so then you can cultivate more space for creativity and novel solutions. Okay, I've talked a lot in this video. I really hope that it has helped you in one way or the other, and I promise you, by starting to put in these building blocks practices, you will cultivate confidence as a skill with time. Let's check in again and work on the other areas in the following videos. I'm excited to see you grow and become the best version of yourself. Remember, self-work is a lifelong journey. Be gentle with yourself and take it one step at a time and just 1% better every day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.